Hi everybody, I'm Angelina, and today I will be doing a review on the knowledge and skills that I have developed from doing my research essay on alcohol abuse in sports. In this video, I will be discussing the challenges that I had faced and opportunities these challenges had given me. I will also cover the decisions which I had made in response to these challenges and reflect on the quality of my research outcome. Knowledge and skills. When I first started doing my research, I had no knowledge on the topic of alcohol abuse in sports other than the typical, everybody knows it's bad for you. Neither was I nor my parents into spectating or team-based sports, so I had to learn about this topic mostly through the internet. But luckily, I had an uncle who was heavily into football and drinking, which I was able to ask him and first-handedly hear about his experience and his passion for football and alcohol. What I found most intriguing about what he told me was George Best, a famous football player during his time, who died from an alcohol-related disease. Oh, and something else which I found amusing was the hooligan drinking culture between fans and the non-alcoholic alternatives that are out there, which I actually decided to do further research on and include in my essay. Although it was difficult to write an essay on a topic which I had no interest in, I was quite happy with the outcome of my essay as I was able to include the insight I had gotten from my uncle, which I would have not been able to discover through the internet itself. I was also able to gain a certain level of personal interest on this topic after my conversation, and this actually motivated me to actually write my essay and put in extra effort. As for the skills I lacked, it was my citation skills. Beforehand, I was quite confident in my citation skills as I had practiced it a lot last semester. However, when I actually had to write my essay, I found it quite difficult to citate different forms of articles and texts, as I had mostly practiced web pages and articles last semester. So when I had to cite other forms of text such as books and magazines, I found it quite challenging. There was also a ton of articles which I wanted to use that had multiple authors, so whenever I had to citate, I had to keep referring to the examples given just to make sure that I was getting it right. And it also somewhat affected the flow of my writing. But still, even after constant practice and checking, when I got my feedback back from my outline, most of my citations were wrong. I was quite surprised, but then that was when I realized that it was because I didn't properly understand the examples given on the website, and I wasn't bothered enough to put in the extra effort to ask for help, even though I actually really needed help. After going through my feedback, I realized my mistake and redid all my citations. This time, I made sure to double check and asked my friends or teachers to check my citations to prevent myself from repeating this mistake again. In the end, I was able to minimize the errors I had for my citations. Decisions I made in response to the challenges and opportunities. The reason I made the decisions of asking around before doing the research for my essay was because I thought this would be a fun way of learning of this topic through the opinion and perspective of a person who already had interest and knowledge on this topic before I do all the tedious and factual research off the internet. This way, I was able to get some background information which helped me get a new perspective and some fresh ideas. This was in response to the fact that I had almost no knowledge in this topic. In the end, I was quite satisfied with my decision as this approach allowed me to learn things which I would have not been able to do just based off the internet. What I've learned from this challenge is that it is much easier to write an essay on a topic which you have personal interest in, or a topic you know really well already. Luckily for me, I was able to gain that personal interest and knowledge of my topic, alcohol abuse in sports, through my conversation with my uncle. So, would I make this decision again? Yes, I would. As for my challenges, the biggest challenge I had was doing my citation. This was because I had only started and practicing citations when I joined Sunway and this Mufy program. Before in my old school, and I had never practiced nor covered this topic before. To face this challenge, I had to constantly refer to the examples on the Monash website while writing my essay. This caused me to take much longer to do my research and write my essay. Even with practice and referring, I still made multiple errors before I was able to properly understand on how to cite all the different forms of articles. This experience has given me the opportunity to practice and learn how to citate from a variety of different types of articles. The quality of my research outcome. Now, I'm quite satisfied with the outcome and quality of my research essay because when I was researching my essay, I had used multiple reliable resources that have repeated the same information. I also made sure to double check my work and fix any mistakes that I had made in my draft using the feedback my teacher has given me. However, one thing I wish I had done differently would have been asking for more feedback sooner. I feel like I should have asked my teacher to check my citations of my outline beforehand so that I could have learned from my mistakes sooner without sacrificing a mark on my outline. My conclusion. At the end of the day, I was quite happy with my essay and I'm kind of excited to see my results, to be honest. Although I had to face a couple of challenges to get this outcome, I was able to solve them early on by practicing on my own and asking for help. These challenges have taught me to learn from my mistakes independently while also teaching me the importance of asking for help when necessary. I will definitely be using everything that I've learned from this experience again in the near future. Thank you for listening.